All right, quick 49ers draft related thought. I saw a report, more like speculation today, that said that the 49ers, because they signed a couple of defensive ends, edge rushers in free agency, they wouldn't be interested in one like Marshawn Kneeland in this draft anymore. And I got to call that out. I don't think that's true at all. The 49ers, look who they signed in free agency. Leonard Floyd, 2-year deal. Yetur Gross-Matos, 2-year deal. I mean, they didn't sign anybody at the position to some kind of long-term contract. Beyond that, you can never have too many good edge rushers. And when you look at the capital that John Lynch has expended in the NFL draft, number one is on defensive ends. Number one is on defensive linemen. I would not rule out Marshawn Kneeland. In fact, I wouldn't rule out anything on the defensive side of the ball. Everybody says, well, they made a lot of work on defense in free agency, so obviously they're going to be looking at offense early in this draft. And, you know, as much as we have the echo chamber of the offensive line and people talking about the Roger Rosengarten workout at Washington this past week and people talking about Brandon Ayuk and the receivers, I still think that defense is a very possible path for the 49ers early in this draft. You can go for an edge rusher. You can go for a big defensive tackle. There's some good cornerbacks too. I know the 49ers haven't typically drafted cornerbacks very high in the draft. The top in this regime has been Ambry Thomas in the 3rd round, but that's a position of need beyond this season. Diomedar Lenoir, Charvarius Ward, Isaac Yiadom, all those guys are only under contract for this season. So the 49ers have insulated themselves floor-wise at essentially every single position to where they can play a game now and be a really good team. So they're not in a pressing need for anything in the draft. I would argue that the biggest deficiency statistically of this team is the offensive line and pass protection. But the point is that the 49ers don't have to desperately jump at one single position, and they definitely, I don't think, have to rule out a position because they're too stocked there. Again, the defensive ends that they signed in free agency only under contract for 2-year deals. So somebody like Marshawn Kneeland still very much in play for the 49ers. I mean, he's had a top 30 visit with them. And in the past, who the 49ers have picked has most correlated with those top 30 visits. That's been our biggest indicator. So keep that in mind. That's my evening 49ers draft thought.